Hello again, it's Bruce Ray. This is my third take. I hope that I improve on these videos. Today we are removing the motor of an Inspire 1, and we're going to remove the carbon fiber boom that holds the motors. I've already removed one motor. I've left the other one here because they're all four the same, and I've already removed all the screws to hopefully speed this video up a little bit. I'll try to get close on the soldering. The soldering is very important, and a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to solder in their lifetime, so hopefully this video will be of some help. So the first step in removing a motor would be to first unsolder the antenna. There's four small screws on the back side of the antenna cover. Remove those with a small jeweler's screwdriver. I can't overemphasize, buy good tools. If you buy cheap tools, you can damage the screws. I happen to love the Chapman Industry Toolkit, C-H-A-P-M-A-N, Chapman Industries. They're up in Connecticut. They're American made. They're incredible. They have a nice little ratchet that you can put your Torx screw tip, or you can put your Phillips or your Allen wrench tip and get some extra leverage, which you will need some leverage on some of these screws. The Chapman kit there. Beautiful kit. If you work on any guns or firearms, that's the kit to have. It won't damage the blackened screws. Another good company that makes a great set of Allen wrenches is Moody. Look up Moody, M-O-O-D-Y, on the internet. They're American made. They're expensive tools. Well worth it. They're lifetime tools. Okay, I've already taken the screws out. Your most common Allen wrench size is 2.5 millimeter and 2 millimeter. The boom is all 2 millimeter. So the first step is to open the door on the antenna. It's a tight fit. I'm going to push it out from the back. You can take a small piece of tape. I have some double face tape. Take a little tab here and stick it up here. That way I can fold that door up and stick it onto the double face tape. Now your antenna, I'm going to get real close here. I don't know how well this GoPro is on close-up. This is your coax connection. There's two solder points. The little fine tip of the coax has to be unsoldered, and the big part. The big part is easy. The little part takes a little finesse. I take my X-Acto knife and I hold it under the edge of this, and I touch it with a soldering iron to push that out of the way. Let's see if I can do this left-handed. Okay, I'm going to clean my soldering tip. What you saw there was the heat didn't transfer fast enough. The reason being, these soldering tips get dirty. So I put it in a cleaner Radio Shack. They're out of business now, but you can get online little solder tip cleaning kits. Dip it in there in the cleaner. Take a paper towel and quickly touch it. clean it off. Then I add a little bit of solder. I flow some liquid solder on there. That liquid solder will help conduct heat to the old solder that's on this board. And with that fresh solder, this should go pretty quickly now. Just touch the tip. It unsoldered it, and see I stick my knife under there. Can you see that? And I lift. Then grab a hold of the antenna, touch the large solder joint. As soon as it turns into liquid, you pull and it comes off. We've just removed the antenna. And what's left here is your coax, and it's in good shape because I did it quickly. If you spend a lot of time with the soldering iron on that coax, you can melt it and damage it. So it's better to have a clean soldering tip so things work quickly. Now that that's out of the way, all the rest of the wiring in here is pluggable. So we can now, there's a little piece of tape here, peel it off. It's like a dust cover. Save it for later. You can lift the motor off since I have all the screws out. There's two plugs down on the ESC board. Take a small tool and you press down on the tab. I'm sorry, there's an airplane in the background. I hope you can hear me. Press down on the tab and push back. That's the cable that comes from your light bridge to the ESC board. Then the smaller one is your LED light on the back of the landing gear. Push down and back. It's free. You just need to get under the wires and pull a little bit. That's loose. The next is a plug. You pull out on the motor and you'll see this plug. It's wrapped in black tape. Undo the black tape. Pull apart the plug. Takes a little twisting. Now I have a free motor and landing gear. If you're just replacing the tube, you don't need to take the ESC board out. You can set this aside. If you're replacing the motor, there's 4 screws in here on the ESC board, 4 little tiny driller screws. You remove those. There's a little glue in here. This motor's coming out, so I'll peel the glue off. I pull gently on the LED cable and it peels off, and if that glue's in the way of pulling the board out, just take your knife and carefully shave a little of that glue off, and your ESD board, your electronic speed control board, it will pull out. You just grab a hold of the motor wires here and pull on that board and it will come out. Lay that aside. Now, we have free wires here, we have free wires here. I have 2 screws left to take off. This should be the right Allen wrench, number 2. It is. There's 8 screws on this cover. Don't lose your screws. Okay, our cover's off. And that was a warranty sticker. It's now voided the warranty, taking this apart. If you want to get your aircraft repaired under warranty, you send it to DJI's Repair Center. They can take anywhere from 6 to 13 weeks. They are improving in their time, and their repair prices are not too bad. if you crashed. If it's under warranty, of course, they'll fix it for free. I am merely providing parts and a service for those people who have to get their Inspire back in the air quickly. You will void the warranty, but some of us are mechanical and we like to just repair our own things and keep them running. The light bridge and electronics in the Inspire is very, very reliable, so I wouldn't be too concerned about some warranty issues. The camera, it's not part of the aircraft. There's no warranty stickers. You can remove that camera, so it could be sent to DJI if you had warranty problems with your camera. Same as the batteries. This is only voiding the warranty of the main quadcopter, the main drone. Okay, to finish this up, I've already removed this screw. This is an easy one. It's again 2mm, and it takes 2 Allen wrenches, one on each side, to break it loose. I like to use this because it requires a little bit of torque to undo this screw here. Then that will pull down, and you've now freed the strut, the landing gear strut. That strut keeps the props, the propellers, level as the landing gear raises and lowers. With that strut off and the cover off, the landing gear tube will now pull out of its bearings. These are 2 shims. They're important. They need to go back on. They squeeze this bearing, the shims squeeze this bearing tight, because if the bearing is loose, you can get some vibration on your motors. I have read where people have actually increased the thickness of this rubber. It's just a piece of rubber tape. They've increased the thickness to even give it a little more squeeze to eliminate more vibration. Okay. You start to pull your cables out. They're easy to keep track of because they're wire wound. And your Inspire, the front portion of the tube, is longer than the back. So the cables, the rear cables are shorter than the front. So you can't get these mixed up when you go to put it back in. To put it back in is just the reverse. You just stick them in the tube and you shake them a little bit and they'll come out the other end. I've had no difficulty in reversing this procedure. There's a difference between the right and the left. For those of you who have cracked your tube, these are $300 for that piece right there. Includes the bearings. These end molded motor mounts are they're epoxied on. So nothing that you see on here is removable, except that under a warranty sticker there is a screw that holds this collar that turns the tube, and it's adjusted, so do not get in and tamper with that. It's set up to for alignment, just like an alignment on a car. You're not changing the alignment by removing this tube. So the procedure to reverse it is the same. In soldering, again, I stress a clean tip, and I want you to solder first. I want you to solder the small tip down on the antenna. Then you push down on the back and solder the ground. Do it quickly with some fresh solder. You do not want the solder to bridge the gap between the ground here and the tip. There's about a 1/16 inch gap of insulation here. So you should get a magnifying glass and inspect this before you put it back down to make sure that it's a nice clean looking end. If it isn't, you see a little extra solder that maybe have bridged that gap, carefully take your knife and see if you can lift it away without damaging the insulation. It's a very delicate procedure to try to redress one of these. This is the radio coax. When your transmitter comes up, the signal comes up, it's received on this antenna, and it's transferred through this coax to the light bridge in the front of the machine. That's it for today. I hope this was instructional. Thank you for bearing with my lack of talent in video production. God bless.